Myself, Devananda Rao, Associate Professor in the Department of CSE, working in the Department of CSE, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today's topic is type system. Type system of a language is a collection of rules depicting the type expression assignments to program objects. That means it is a set of rules and constraints. Rules and constraints. Rules and constraints. Type system is a set of rules and constraints that will define data types and guide the data types of the programming language. Type system is a set of rules and constraints that will define and guide the data types of the programming language. And also it specifies, type system specifies how data can be represented, and manipulated in the program. These are the set of rules and constraints specifies how data can be represented and manipulated in the program. And also these rules will include how the data types will be assigned to the variables. Variables are arrays, expressions, any variable. So how data can be assigned to, data type can be assigned to variables. These are the type systems rules and constraints. Then these type systems are usually done with syntax directed definition, SDD, syntax directed definition. This is a formal way to represent the semantics of the programming language. Formal way to represent semantics of the programming language. Semantics of the programming language. And also this SDD will associate semantic actions to the grammar productions. Then type checker. Type checker is an implementation of type system. Type checker is an implementation of type system. That means it is a combination of compiler or interpreter of the programming language. It is a component of the type checker, is a component of the compiler or interpreter of the programming language. It will checks for the compatibility, consistency of the data types. Type checker will check the consistency of the data types. If any violation occurs during the type check, the type checker will raise the errors. Then strongly typed languages. Compiler can verify that the program will execute without any type errors. Without any type errors. If the program is executed without any type error, that is strongly typed language. All checks are made statically. Static type check, that is called static type check. During static type check, all the errors will be identified. So that it is called sound type system. Sound type system. And we are trying to eliminate the dynamic type checking. Dynamic type checking. In some cases there are types, those types errors will be caught during dynamically only. For example, array bound check. Array bound check. Array bound check. Array bound checks are caught during dynamic checking only. During static you cannot find those errors. Strongly typed languages put lot of restrictions. That means, for example, you need to think, the compiler, writer, developer should think about this. There is a function like function, but this function is called from another function. But here the function is of type integer, return type is integer. Here at this point of time we don't know the type of the function 1. So these are the restrictions put by the strongly typed languages. The compiler, developer, you have to understand this point. Next, type checking of expressions. Here we use a synthesized attribute type for a non-terminal E. This is the non-terminal E. E is representing an expression, any expression, for example id plus id star id, any expression 2 plus 3 star 4 like that. Any expression is represented by e. There is a expression e derives id. E dot type is lookup of id dot entry. Lookup is a function. It tries to find the entry in the symbol table to find the identifier type. Then that type is associated with the attribute of e, that is e dot type is lookup of id dot entry. Then there is an expression e derives e1 op e2. Op means operation, any operation, addition, subtraction or relational operator, anything. Then the semantic action is e dot type is if e1 dot type is equal to e2 dot type, then e1 return type is e1 dot type, else type error. For example, a plus b, a is integer, b is real, both types are different, that is type mismatch, type error occurs. So if both a and b are same type integer, the return type is integer, that is assigned to e dot type. Next expression, e derives e1 relational operator e2. E dot type is if e1 dot type is equals to e2 dot type, then boolean, else type error. Here the relational operator, that is less than or equals to, greater than equals to, and not equals to are the relational operators. Those result of these operations are boolean, that means true or false, then the result of this type expression is true or false, that is assigned to e dot type, else type error. Another expression, e derives e1 of e2 square bracket e2. This is array e2, that means e dot type is if e2 dot type is integer, e2 dot type is integer, that is the range of this expression e2 is integer, and e1 dot type is array of s comma t, then return is t, else type error. Here s is any value, t is type of the elements, s indicates the range of the elements, array of s elements, s number of elements of type t, the return type is t. Then this symbol up arrow is indicating pointer. E dot type is if e1 dot type is pointer of t, then t, else type error. See, e1 if e1 dot type is pointer of t, because t is, this arrow indicates pointer of t, t is a type of the pointer, whether it is integer pointer or real pointer, then t, else type error. Type checking of statements. Statements normally do not have values, hence type void. If there is a statement s derives id is equals to e. E is an expression, id is an identifier. Then s dot type is if id dot type and e dot type, then void. Both are types of identifier and types of expression, both are same, return type is void, else type error. Then s derives if e, then s1. This is conditional statement. If expression, then s1. That is if e dot type is boolean, that means if condition expression is true or false, then if condition is true, s1 is executed. That means if e dot type is boolean, then s1 dot type, else type error. Next, s dot type is if e dot type is boolean, then s1 dot type, else type error. Next, statements s1 followed by s2. If s1 dot type is void and s2 dot type is void, then void, else type error. Next, type checking of function. A function call is equivalent to the application of one expression to another. Here e derives e1 of e2. E dot type is if e2 dot type is s and e1 dot type is s2t. Here for e1 the domain is s. The domain is from e2. E1 domain is from e2 only. If e1 dot type is s, then e1 dot type is s2t, then return t, else type error. Thank you.